Well, good morning, everybody. On behalf of my fellow graduates, it's my privilege to welcome you here this morning and to thank you for sharing this special day with each of us. Because, this is a day that culminates 4 years of late nights in the library, a day for the university administration and faculty, and you, our friends and family, to recognize what we've learned. That's what this is about. It's a recognition of the knowledge we now possess. And that, in all seriousness, is precisely what I want to speak to you about today. This entire event is really a celebration of what we know. Fellow graduates, all my friends and classmates here, looking back to August 2007, you all know a lot of things. And the degree you and I are about to receive on this platform is going to serve as a permanent memorial to what we now know. And sure, we've learned a lot of things. But ladies and gentlemen, this reality is what scares me. It scares me because God describes in 2 Timothy 3, verse 7, a person who knows a lot of things. He describes a person, and here's what the verse says, a person who is always learning but never arrives at a knowledge of the truth. Have you heard that verse? Have you read it? These 13 simple words in 2 Timothy 3:7 have caused me to tremble more than once in my 4 years here. I think they've caused me to tremble because in those words I see Kyler Smith and a bunch of my fellow graduates, men and women who have been always learning, men and women who have been equipped and exhorted by the university faculty since day one in Gateway class to live a life of learning. Men and women with great skills. We've got graduates here in front of us who can market a business plan. My roommate being one of them. We've got people who can create some of the most impressive graphic design projects. Guys who can write, ladies and gentlemen, who can write worthy journal-worthy theses. Theses, whatever. How do you say that? We've got men and women who can prepare a strategic lesson plan to help educate the next generation. You got guys who can build a house, girls and guys who can sing with stirring beauty. We've got science majors who can conduct skillful research in whatever. Look at me, it's so impressive I don't even understand it. And yet, in all seriousness, there apparently is a person just like you and me. A person who is always learning and yet never truly came to a knowledge of the truth. How can this be? Classmates, friends, family, and other honored guests, I pray you hear these words. This entire ceremony matters very little. And I mean this with all my heart. It matters very little if you do not know one thing. And that is the gospel of Jesus Christ. Do you know it? This is a question to all of you here today. Do you know it? If I were to ask you to whip out your commencement program, get out a pen and scribble down on the back of it the gospel of Jesus Christ, would you be able to do that right now in this room? Now, of course, I'm not asking you to do that, but this is a good question to ask. Could you tell it to me? I say this simply to drive home this point to you guys, my friends and classmates. My desire is that more than anything, all of you here today would leave John Brown University after 4 years as men and women who are always learning and have arrived at a knowledge of the truth. Have you truly come to a knowledge of the truth, guys? If you can't answer that question, I plead you hear it today and you receive it. You receive this message for the precious life-changing news it is. And folks, if you don't know it, if you can't answer the question, what is the gospel? This is the answer, I think. This is it. There really is one true God who created everything, ladies and gentlemen. If this offends your conception of intellectual integrity, all I can do is simply pray that this knowledge of the truth would fall upon you in great weight through the words from my lips. This God, this one true God, created everything you and I know, including you and me. And he created us with a purpose. Do you realize that? You're not purposeless. He made you for an ultimate purpose, the chief purpose, and that is to reflect and glorify his name. However, each of you in this room, every single body in this room, myself probably chief amongst you, have rebelled against him. We've rebelled against his holy, perfect character. And I, therefore, along with every sinner in this room, deserve, this is real, folks, we deserve eternal separation from God for my rebellion, for your rebellion. Now, is this good news? Is it? No way. That is horrible news. But thank the Lord, that's not the end of the story. Here is your hope, your only hope, my only hope. This one true God, his incalculable loving kindness and mercy, in his incalculable loving kindness and mercy, he sent his Son, Jesus Christ, his righteous Son, to live a perfect life and to receive the punishment you guys and Kyler deserves. He received that punishment. And this is good news because he isn't dead anymore. We just celebrated 2 weeks ago that he is risen indeed. He rose again that each of you in this room might have life in his name, that you might be saved. And dear people, family, friends, everyone in here, you can be saved. There is blessed hope for each of us in here. Christ's salvation is truly freely offered to each of you who see their sin, who see it, and who can recognize that Christ is their only hope. And so therefore, I close with this plea. Do not try to be strong in your own strength, graduates, ladies and gentlemen. Do not try to be strong in your own strength because it will not be there when you need it most. Do not rely on your credentials as a college graduate here. It does not offer the hope and wholeness that President Pollard so wonderfully preached yesterday evening. This is the gospel of Jesus Christ, and it's the foundation of everything you know or hope to know. It's the foundation of this school, this very school. And I say it unashamedly, JBU may be an incredible institution of higher learning with the task to expertly educate, but it exists foremost to exalt the glory of Christ over all. That's its chief aim. The main reason, guys, God even gave you and I a mind over these 4 years, the main reason was that we might seek out and find all the reasons that exist for treasuring him in and over all things. And so, my fellow graduates, my challenge and my prayer and my plea for you is that as you walk across this platform in a moment, I pray that you will not boast in your wisdom, but let him who boasts boast in this, that he knows the Lord. He understands the Lord. We have much to celebrate today. I'm excited. This is a great day. I'm glad to be done. It was hard. But friends and family, everybody in here, graduates as well, would you join me and my classmates and help us celebrate the kind of knowledge that ultimately matters the most? Congratulations, class of 2011.